Okay, so something that's definitely front of mind for a lot of folks, this whole AI security landscape. Data, privacy, governance, compliance, especially with generative AI just booming.
It really is. And it can feel pretty overwhelming trying to wrap your head around it all.
Exactly. So we want to cut through some of that noise today, get to what really matters.
Absolutely. Because the game has changed. It's not just the usual cyber threats anymore.
Right. These aren't your standard hackers, are they?
Not entirely. AI brings this whole new layer of risk, particularly around data security and privacy. Think about sensitive info possibly getting vacuumed up into training data.
Oof. Yeah, that's a big one. Or the AI itself may be blurting out company secrets.
Precisely. And this isn't just theoretical. Regulators are watching closely look at the EU AI law. And, maybe even more importantly, your customers care. A lot.
So ignoring AI privacy and security, that's just not really an option for businesses now.
Not at all. The stakes are way too high. We're talking potential fines, regulatory action.
And the trust thing you mentioned, that's massive. Lose customer trust and it's hard to get back.
Exactly. So you absolutely need a proactive stance. You can't just sit back and wait for something bad to happen. You need a framework, a structure.
Which leads us to things like the NIST AI risk management framework. Now that sounds kind of formal. Is it like a software tool?
Ah, good question.
Yeah.
No, it's not a piece of software you install. Think of it more as, well, a set of guidelines, best practices, really.
Okay, like a roadmap.
A roadmap is a great way to put it. It helps organizations figure out, how to understand, assess, and then actually manage the risks that come with AI.
So it helps you ask the right questions, essentially. But how do you actually do that within the company? That sounds like where AI governance fits in.
Precisely. AI governance is the how. It's putting those policies, procedures, ethical standards into practice, how AI gets used day to day.
Like setting the house rules for AI.
Exactly. Someone mentioned a kingdom's constitution before, and that's not a bad analogy. It's about establishing those core rules, making sure AI aligns with business goals, legal stuff, ethics.
And there are actual frameworks emerging for this now, like standardized ways to do governance?
Yes, there are. Frameworks, discussions around certifications.
Yeah.
It's evolving. The main idea is always that balance, right? Harnessing AI's power, but managing the risks safely and compliantly.
Okay, so we've got guidelines from NIST, we've got governance rules, but what about the actual data? Especially sensitive data being crunched by AI, maybe in the cloud, that still feels risky.
It does. And that's where this concept of confidential computing becomes really important. You mentioned a magical cloak.
Yeah, I heard that somewhere. What's the reality behind that?
Well, it's actually a pretty good description. Confidential computing is about protecting data while it's being processed in use.
Not just sitting stored somewhere or flying across the network.
Exactly. We're all used to encryption at rest, on disk, and encryption in transit over the network. Confidential computing adds that crucial third piece, encrypting and protecting data while the CPU is actually working on it in memory.
Ah, okay, so it creates like a secure bubble around the computation itself.
That's a perfect way to think about it. It uses things called trusted execution environments, or TEEs, sometimes called secure enclaves.
Ease, okay.
These are isolated sections within the hardware, like the CPU, where code and data are protected, even from the cloud provider or the system administrator.
Wow, okay, so even if someone has access to the machine, they can't peek inside that bubble.
That's the goal. Think about high-stakes stuff, analyzing financial data, processing patient health records, or maybe training a custom GenAI model on your private business data. You need that assurance.
Makes total sense, especially with more complex AI needing serious compute power, often on shared infrastructure. Okay, so we've covered risks, frameworks like NIST, governance, and now this key tech, confidential computing. But let's circle back to compliance. Those fire-breathing dragons, as someone called them. Fines, deadlines.
Yes, the compliance dragons are definitely real. Keeping up with GDPR, the EU AI Act coming down the pipe, industry rules. It's a lot.
And ignoring them is, what, asking for trouble.
Big trouble. So proactive cybersecurity specifically for AI and solid AI risk management aren't just nice-to-haves anymore. They're absolutely fundamental if you want to adopt AI responsibly.
So who helps with this? I've heard the term Knights of AI Security. Is that just a fancy name, or?
It refers to the whole ecosystem, really. The specialized people, the roles, the technologies focus purely on making AI deployments secure.
Like what kind of things?
Things like AI security certifications to validate your systems, AI firewalls acting as guards against specific AI attacks. The answer is those questions. What even is AI security? And how do I secure my GenAI?
So there are companies and tools focused just on this niche.
Oh, absolutely. Developing advanced ways to protect the models, the data pipelines feeding them, the whole infrastructure, and also AI safety measures preventing AI from going off the rails, giving bad outputs, especially with powerful Gen AI.
It sounds like a really fast-moving space. Which brings us to practical solutions. We've heard about Armet AI described as a turnkey, enterprise-grade, secure Gen AI platform. That sounds like it aims to tackle a lot of this head-on.
Yes, from what's described, Armet AI is presented as aiming for that comprehensive approach, managing the whole AI journey data in to deployment out, with security, privacy, governance baked in from the start, and confidential computing is key to that.
Okay, let's break that down. What would confidential AI and privacy look like in a platform like that? What are the features?
Well, you'd expect it to heavily use those T's, the secure enclaves we talked about, for that hardware level isolation.
Right, the bubbles. Yeah.
Exactly. Plus, strong data in use protection, meaning encryption in memory while models are running or training. Also, hardware-based security features, attestation to verify everything's secure inside the enclave, and enabling privacy-preserving techniques, ways to train or run models without exposing the raw sensitive data itself.
That sounds incredibly valuable for anyone handling PII, financial data, health data, anything sensitive. Okay, next up, AI guardrails. What's that about? Keeping the AI in check.
Pretty much. It's about ensuring the AI behaves responsibly. So things like data sanitization, automatically finding and redacting, or maybe tokenizing sensitive bits before the AI even sees them.
Smart. What else?
Prompt security is a big one. Defending against attacks, trying to manipulate the AI through the prompts you give it. And hallucination detection, trying to spot when a Gen AI model is just making stuff up.
Oh yeah, that's crucial for reliability.
Definitely. And finally, policy enforcement. Being able to build your company's rules directly into the AI workflow, ensuring it acts within your defined boundaries.
So it's controlling the inputs, the outputs, and the behavior. Makes sense. Then there's AI and data governance. How does a platform help manage that complexity?
Governance is key for control and compliance. So a platform like Armet AI would likely offer consistent role-based access controls RBAC.
Meaning, who gets to see and do what?
Exactly. Based on their role, leads privilege access. It should also help structure projects, maybe compartmentalize data for different teams, manage permissions cleanly. Defining custom roles with very specific access rights is important too, and doing all this scalably across the whole organization.
A central control plane for AI access and data. Sounds useful.
Yeah,
Okay, end-to-end AI data security. We've touched on parts, but what's the big picture here?
it's about covering all the bases. Strong encryption for data at rest when it's stored, encrypted transit for data in motion when it's moving, and, crucially, confidential computing for data in use during processing. It's that holistic protection, closing the gaps.
Got it. Covering the data wherever it is. Which leads right into holistic compliance and data protection. How does a platform help navigate regulations?
It needs to be built with regulations in mind, helping meet GDPR requirements, getting ready for the EU AI Act, handling sensitive data like PII, PCI, PHI with end-to-end encryption. Adhering to standards like SOC2 is often the goal too, and enforcing compliance policies consistently across the board, basically making the auditors happier.
Always a good goal. Lastly, it mentions an API-first strategy. Why is that significant for businesses wanting to integrate AI?
Hugely significant. API first means it's designed to connect easily with other systems. So things like enterprise data connectors to plug into your existing apps without messy workarounds, standardized ways to read-write data, making development easier and scalable. It just smooths out the process of getting data in and AI insights out, and lets you build custom AI solutions on top more efficiently.
So it avoids AI becoming this isolated silo. It integrates properly.
That's the idea. It accelerates getting value from AI because it fits better into your existing tech world.
Okay, stepping back. It really sounds like platforms like Armet AI are trying to offer a very layered, comprehensive answer to these big AI adoption challenges: security, compliance, governance, privacy.
That certainly seems to be the aim. Combining tech-like confidential computing with governance frameworks and those practical guardrails. The goal really is to let organizations use AI's power confidently, without that constant worry about security breaches or compliance failures. It's about satisfying everyone from the CFO and legal to the product teams actually building things.
It definitely gives us, and everyone listening, a lot to chew on, especially if you're trying to figure out how to deploy AI responsibly. It underscores that security and compliance aren't afterthoughts with AI, they have to be core considerations.
Absolutely. Being able to innovate with AI while maintaining that strong security and compliance posture, that's not just ideal, it's becoming essential for success and trust. Think about what opens up when you can securely use your most valuable data with AI. That's the real promise here, something to really consider for your own context.